Yo, what's up with it? Once again, people, man named Broseman, fanboys and fangirls, as always. I'm talking to Nikki Comunis out there. This is Nintendo Sony Free 2011, aka Manny Wolverine. Where's you guys invested interest towards this and out towards this channel? Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Today, I had a little bit of sombering, sad news, but at the same time, it's for, in my own personal opinion, it's the change for the fucking better, man. Because this has been going on for so fucking long. Both of these are like over a week and a half years old. A week and a half old. It's not a year old because if it was, I wouldn't be talking about it. But two extremely nostalgic figures of my life. One is actually a real person. The other one's, of course, anime. But this one, I haven't talked about anime manga news in like 2 months, so it's been a little while. So it says the new Pokemon anime will span the entire world, not just with the Galar region. And it's funny because I know some people are saying that Ash Ketchum's not going to be a part of the Generation 8 Sword and Shield anime, but let's just get the shit out the way now because I still got to do my Nintendo Direct thoughts, views, and opinions. Like, what I thought about it, I had to watch it 2 times because I'm doing this on the same day, like, it came out. So this is going to be really, really old now. So, let's get it started. So it says it's called Pocket Monsters, and this comes from Chris Carter. Shout out to them. There's 2 videos. I'll leave the links to the videos down below if you want to look at it yourself. So it says Pokemon Sword and Shield's anime is called Galar. But we've seen quite a bit of it so far with by the way of the gameplay trailers for the past few months. But but when the new season of the anime airs later on this year, it's not going to be the only feature of the region. A new season of Pokemon has followed the same basic setups for a few decades now. Well, really 2 decades and 2 years when I'm more specific. It is what it is. Ash travels to a new region, promoting to whatever new game entry it is, and meets up with new creatures and new friends, usually characters from the games. But the Pokemon Company is shifting gears, and this time around, based on a new info and a teaser that was seen when Ash was visiting all regions. Oh, I thought this was a week and a half years old. This is only like 2 days ago. Okay, not that long. All region forms so far. Oh yeah, but the Pokemon Company is shifting gears around the new info and a teaser between is down below that will see Ash visiting all regions from the series. So far, that's Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Unova, Kalos, and Alola. We don't know for sure. The text and the logo seems to be implying that the series will follow the new reboot retelling universe set up in the following previous further films. The evidence, further evidence by the same title of Pocket Monsters. We're supposed to be getting the getting more information this weekend, but it seems like the only thing we have is a teaser for more info, which we'll get in September 29th. Wow, okay. I went a little bit too far there. September 29th, when the anime is fully revealed. Super secretive Pokemon marketing campaigns? Well, I'd never. So, there goes the 2 little links to the videos there if you want to check them out yourself, the teaser trailers. I'm not going to play it because I don't want get my fucking shit copyright claimed again like I did with Sword and Shield reaction. That was like back in, I think, March or April, I think. I think it was March. So anyways, yeah. Overall thoughts, views, and opinions. This is a pretty big-ass fucking cataclysmic climatic change. I mean, I'm not sure if it's going to be a brand new anime character or maybe it's going to be a manga character that takes over Ash's place. This is going to be some very, very unprecedented times we're living in, my friends. And you still got the old school, the original one. I'm not gonna lie, I gotta be biased, but Bulbasaur's always been the best. The other 2, You already know how I feel about Charizard, one of the most OG overrated ones ever. The only time I ever really gave a shit about Charizard was way back in the late 90s when I was still a 90s kid at the time, which was the holographic Charizard, or nowadays they call them holos, or nowadays it's either the EXs or the GXs that are really big. I don't know what they're gonna call the Sword and Shield TCGs when you get like a super secret rare or like super rare limited edition version of whatever Pokemon card you're trying to get. Instead of GX, it might be called another GX, I don't know. Or BX, I don't know. And some more old school nostalgia stuff here. This one might not be as interesting as the other article, but man, this makes me feel old as shit because I remember I was like 10 when this game came out way back. I think it was like 1998. At the time when I was still a 90s kid. Holy shit. God, this makes me feel old as hell. And again, I'm 30, so it is what it is. So it says hugely influential Tony Hawk Pro Skater game turns 20. And this one comes from News Group. I'm not going to get into all the details into this shit, but I'm going to have to go probably back up this way. Because I was reading some of the article before I started this video. That's what I meant to say. And I'm not sure who the person that wrote this, but just says it's from News Group, and that's it. So there goes that. August 30th of 2019. So this was almost a week old now. So it says, one of the most influential video games of all time, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, is celebrating its 20th anniversary. For 2 decades now, the game has been turned hordes of younger gamers into fans of rock music through its legendary soundtracks. To celebrate, we spoke to Mr. Hawk himself along with the massives, including Goldfinger's John Fieldman, former My Chemical Romance vocalist Gerald Way, and pro skater Ryan Sheckler about its massive impact. A rare fraction of all of this is capable of not only permeating a particular culture, becoming ubiquitous therein, but a breakthrough through and endures of all universally a beloved pair of entertainment for multiple decades. In August of 1999, I remember it was 99 when it came out. Makes you feel way old as shit. Some of you guys might not even existed at that time. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater released for the Sony PlayStation, cementing itself as a pioneer of the modern action sports video games, and a beacon of the community within the late 1990s, early 2000s zeitgeist. I'm not even sure if I said that word right. Let's move on. Later ported to additional consoles, including the N64 and the Sega Dreamcast, THPS became quite an after-school go-to virtual reality for every child, teen, and 20-somethings. With a console and even the slightest interest in skateboarding. If Tony Hawk wasn't already a household name, the summer of 1999, his inaugural video games would see it so, and beyond it, helping thrust skateboarding into mainstream popularity, alongside with events such as the X Games, Tony Hawk Pro Skater would introduce many to the punk side of the rock music spectrum via its innovation soundtrack. Bands such as Dead Kennedys, Goldfinger, and the Vandals. Prometheus and the Vandals would be giving a new, unexpected opportunity to reach its listeners. You guys can read those little quote things. I'm not going to read those. Combining the skateboarding with music by no means was a revolutionary idea in 1999, but Tony Hawk Pro Skater was certainly one of the earliest video games to utilize the license by songs by bands for its soundtracks. Because music particularly was more raucous genres, has invariably have been an absolute ally to skateboarding. This particular soundtrack was a crucial in amplifying the game's authenticity. The Hawk and the game's developers and Neversoft Entertainment were determined to create. Oh yeah, there was a thing about Tony Hawk and his things. His little quotes there. So it also goes on to say Tony Hawk was his first pro skater, his first skateboard, courtesy of Tony Hawk's history with the rock and punk music runs deep, and acts when some of his earliest favorites were. He credibly surfaced immediately. D-Rattle's Essential Devo is definitely the top of the list. He answers quickly. Black Flag X, Sex Pistols, and more. New wave stuff too, like Atoms and the Ants, Psychedelic Furs. Before they were more, he trails off laughing, but the main ones would be Buzzcocks 999, the Dickies, and all that stuff. As Hawk has continued to reflect one of his favorite memories of music and skateboarding merging in his journeys as a young skater, recalls the days of the Bones Brigade, driving into competition with teams such as Ronnie Mullen and Steve Calabero. I remember Devo's freedom of the choice coming through the speakers, and I had this feeling like this is where I belong. This is the soundtrack where I really to what I do. Nearly 2 decades later, after the influence of Visceral Discovery translates to an unassuming 10-song soundtrack that will gradually be secured as iconic stuff. People enjoyed playing the games so much that I think it was almost subconsciousness that they started to love the music surrounding it, says Hawk. I didn't know much about the music licensing work, and at the very least, I thought the bands would have some exposure of authenticity to it. I never thought it would be something as considerable as so revolutionary. Almost everything about the creation of the game was renegade. Operation to, according to Hawk's Scott Peels, lead producer of the game via Neversoft, concurs everything was brand new and a totally unknown. Please add it. We weren't we weren't really thinking about our clues from the other games, but more looking for other skate culture for inspiration. We tried to get some known bands and some the up and coming bands, just a mix of stuff that we thought would fit to a skate culture in a game. According to Brightband, an association producer of Activision, which was handled in-house in-hold audio, soundtrack was put together for about $30,000, which he said was remarkable for a music licensing deal. Today you can pay much more for a single song, he adds, but beyond budget and gathering enough bands willing to contribute to something that carried a certain amount of risk, including a soundtrack with all its logistical challenges, from a sound team working at Neversoft and Activision, the game's publisher back then, PlayStation, had a CD drive with about 650 MBs for usable space, explains Brighton. I'm probably not going to read it anymore after because it gets way more longer than that, so links down below. With the actual gameplay of the components being more vital elements for the formula, the sound team would eventually trim the song and loop parts of the accentual, that speedy gameplay to fit all the necessities of the limited disk space. When the game was later ported to Nintendo 64 to release in March 2000, Bright would fashion a similar creative process to fit the tracks in N64 cartridges, which contain even less space. Using a sound tool cart, an adapter, and a MIDI sampler software, Brighton said, I cut the songs in the smallest bite-sized samples, and I could then sequence those samples to recreate the song. It was one of the first N64 games to have licensed music in it. Thought that was GoldenEye. It is what it is. Let's move on. Not specifically composed for video games. So yeah, it goes on a little bit more further, and they talk about Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and 3 and 4. I forgot about THPS, man. I remember that 2005 when the American Wasteland one. That shit was fucking cool. I think after Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, I never played the 5th one, but I heard a lot of nightmare stories about it, saying it was one of the most glitchiest fucking skater games of all time, which is really fucking sad. But this man right here is the legend for making one of the best skater games of all time. It's funny because me in real life, there's no way how I would have been able to skate. Me and my fat ass will never be able to like go on a skateboard. Fuck that. I probably would have broke my leg a long time ago. Or my arm or whatever. And there's no fucking way I'll ever get a skateboard IRL. In the game, that's different. Well, if it was a BMX thing, I probably would have did that instead, but I still would have gotten hurt a couple times. But it is what it is. Anyways, that's all I got to say for now. Shout out to this extremely wonderful legend here, Mr. Hawk. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I would never even gotten to stuff like Jackass or Viva La Bam or some shit. I just talked about that 3 weeks ago, too. So, that being said, I'm done and I'm out of here. Links to the description box down below to 2 videos I talked about earlier. And that's it. Peace out once again, ladies and gentlemen, bros, women, fanboys, and fangirls, as always. Otakus and Nikikomoris out there. I will see you when I see you guys. Good day, good night, wherever you're at in the universe out there. Stay tuned for more future content channel, including video gaming industry news, anime manga news, internet news, and that wraps up the video. Take it easy. Peace out. I'm out like sauerkraut. Late and goodbye. We'll see every single one of you people on the flip side. I'm gone. Later. See you soon. Peace.